Alright guys, welcome back to another My Hero Academia One's Justice breakdown. Today's character is Gran Torino. Once again going over the combos, neutral, and overall what makes this character place where he places on the tier list. With that all being said, let's get started. Okay, so as you can tell with some of these breakdowns, it gets kind of hard to extend them or talk in depth about certain characters because there's really not a lot to go over. With that being said, Gran Torino is easily one of the worst characters in the game, just keeping it 100% honest with you. Let's kind of talk about why. So, despite him having extremely good mobility, just like the show, being able to zip around opponents, even have good mix-ups, what holds him back is just that. His mobility is lacking, especially when it comes to his dash button, which is going to be a pretty huge factor, and we're going to talk about it very soon. So let's get straight into it. So let's talk about his neutral first. What holds him back from all the other characters on the list? It's quite simple. His dash button, his main function that you think would make Gran Torino really good, is what holds him back entirely. Matter of fact, all of his speedy functions hold him back, except for one button, which we'll talk to in a bit. His combos are decent and his range is really lacking, so even though his damage output is pretty decent and gets the job done, and it can even be really damaging if you have the right assist to link into everything, he ultimately gets held back by the simple fact that it's going to be hard for you to land any of that if you can't get in. No matter how fast you're going, his dash is nice because it's one continuous straight line and he dashes, but he can't move or act out of it until the dash is completely over, other than, well, possibly dash again. So he can dash and dash and dash and dash and dash, but if all you're doing is zigzagging around at the speed that's kind of slow because he's rather hovering rather than running or even just quick zipping, you could just get blown up by a projectile, getting grabbed, an emergency action, super armoring through it, etc, etc. If it was for the fact he could act out of his dash, then yes, he would most definitely be really scary, but since it takes him a little bit, like around the halfway to end point of his dash, and before anything after that, he can't act out of it. Once he gets to those halfway or end point, he can finally act out of it and do any attack of his choosing. It's just too late by then. Projectiles can cancel him, area of effect attacks can cancel him out. He just gets walled out incredibly easily. So that's okay. Maybe he could use his X button, his up zip and up kick, away from all sorts of danger, even into danger, into the fray. Well, that doesn't work much either because it ends up pushing opponents back rather than keeping them close, so you can't combo after it. You just end up launching your opponent backwards and they can just recover and then punish you. Or see you coming, super armor through it and punish you. It's sad. The only good thing he has going for him is this really cool grapple move where he presses A, grabs you, zips around you a whole bunch, and then pushes you into either the floor or the wall. And that's pretty decent because you can get a wall damage combo after that. And if you don't get a wall splat, you're just kind of looking stupid, and they could just punish you in midair because you're not that effective in midair, and it's sad. Gran Torino sucks. At the end of the day, what holds him back is the entire cast, literally almost the entire cast, can wall him out. Even Kirishima, who is also on this low tier of the spectrum, could just harden and get through literally all of his attacks. His emergency actually comes out a little too slow and is way too predictable, so anyone could just punch through it no matter how much waiting time you have. It's one of the few moves you can block, then let go of block, and still be able to punish his emergency actually because it's that slow. His super armor move is also decent as a launcher, but other than that, he just ends up getting blown up. His aerial mobility is kind of whack, despite him having 3 whole jumps to make things work. He just ends up getting blown up because his attacks in midair are so lackluster. His everything about him is just poor, and he just ends up getting held back immensely by the entire cast, whether it be projectiles walling him out, area of effect attacks walling him out, Shigaraki, even his puddle can wall him out because he can't land or go near him. He has to be in the air at all times. It's unfortunate. He's definitely one of the worst characters in the game, in my opinion, despite having such a good damage output. I mean, Kirishima can harden through abilities. Denki could just set up an electric trap, not only blocking him out but also stunning him. All Might can just Detroit smash or whatever it may be to get through all of his attacks, even causing a tornado area of effect attack that could just keep him out, walled out completely. He could do the Texas tornado in midair and just keep Gran Torino away and at bay for the rest of the match. Characters like Dobby are easily going to win this matchup because homing fireball, flamethrower, geysers, air traps, and floor traps, all just, he can't do anything to get in. Jiro can boombox him no matter where he's at. She could jump in there and boombox him. She could throw out the earphone jacks to keep him at bay. Doesn't matter. The list goes on. Kachin could just dash in and micro dash and end up bodying him. Oh my gosh, Gran Torino is a piece of work in this game. He's just so bad compared to the rest of the cast. He ends up just being the worst character in the game, in all honesty. Second worst character in the game, if it wasn't for the fact his damage output was honestly pretty decent. So, that's my Gran Torino breakdown. As you can tell, he gets walled out by everyone. He kind of sucks. Don't pick this character up. Like, straight up, I don't care what you say, just avoid him at all costs, man. There's plenty of other characters in the game. With that all being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you like these breakdowns or just like my content, please hit that like, comment, and subscribe down below for more of this content. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.